Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. A warm welcome to meeting number 69 of the Gabbys International Toastmasters Club. I'm Sunil Gupta, the Sergeant Arms for today's evening. Let's pump ourselves up. I'll give you 5 abbreviations of movies. You have to guess the movie names. Simple, very simple. Just to pump up yourselves. DDLJ.
दिलवाले दुल्हनिया ले जाएंगे.
Okay. K3G.
कभी खुशी कभी गम.
Good. HAHK.
हम आपके हैं कौन.
Good. And K2H2.
कुछ होता है.
Good. Last one. MPKDH. Okay.
मैं प्रेम की दीवानी हूँ.
Great. So all of you are very fond of watching movies. Okay. At the Sergeant Arms, it's my responsibility to highlight some key points for the meeting. The meeting is scheduled for a duration of 2 hours, and I would request all of you to stay for the entire duration to gain maximum benefit out of it. I would also request all of you to switch on your cameras and switch off your audios. However, you can turn on your audio when you are called to speak or you need to speak. Regarding the topics of sex, religion, and politics, Toastmasters International doesn't put any restriction on speaking on these topics. At the Gabbys International Toastmasters Club, we always request all the speakers and role takers to be mindful and responsible and abstain from expressing any controversial views on these sensitive topics. As a mission, we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop their communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. With these key points, let me now call upon the presiding officer of the club, the Gabbys International Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Jaspreet Kaur. Toastmaster Jaspreet Kaur is a post prevention of sexual harassment and POXO, protection of children from sexual offenses, trainer who helps inclusive workplace. She is also a communication and workplace skills coach. And you know that today she has with chalkboard about discussing chalkboard. So she is an English faculty who has helped so far more than 2,000 students as the board examinations. So put your hands together to welcome the presiding officer of the club, Toastmaster Jaspreet Kaur. Over to you, Jaspreet.
Thank you so much, Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Sunil Gupta, and a big round of applause for Sunil for opening the meeting every time with a different kind of enthu. And you did that again today to just, jolt the audience up and bring them on camera. So wonderful attempt. And thank you very much for setting the right pace at the right time and giving the ground rules to the people who are especially our guests who are maybe not aware of that. So thank you. Kudos to you for that. And with this, I declare meeting number 69 of Gabbys International Toastmasters Club to order. Now, before we begin, I would like to welcome Toastmaster Prabha Lohaniwal, a reinstated member to the club. She's back with Gabbys. So in absentia, we welcome Toastmaster Prabha. Now with this, I welcome the Toastmasters, visiting Toastmasters, and our guests for the day. To begin with, let's have one or two guests tell us something about yourself in a quick 30 seconds. So we have Bhagyalakshmi. Bhagyalakshmi said she is a visitor. Bhagyalakshmi, can you please unmute, come up on camera, something? All right, we have Kusuma as well. Kusuma, can you please tell us something about yourself in a quick 30 seconds? Where are you from? How did you come to know about the meeting today?
Yes, hi. Hello, everyone. Good
Hello.
evening. My name is Kusuma. I'm from Bangalore, and I was a part of Toastmasters from past 1 year, and it was an corporate club. And I recently changed my company, and that's the reason I'm not able to be a part of it anymore. So I was looking for some community club, and I found this club online, and I thought I had to attend few sessions, and I think this is the second session. I attended the one that was there on Tuesday as well.
All
So
right.
yeah, looking forward to many
All right.
meetings.
Thank you so much. Stay on till the end so that I can take your feedback about the meeting at the
Sure.
end of the meeting.
Yeah.
Now, we
Thank
also
you.
have Mona. Mona, can you just quickly tell us something about yourself in a quick 30 seconds?
My friend shared the link with me, and I've heard about Toastmasters. I think it is about public speaking. My daughter had mentioned
You'll have to, yes.
my daughter.
Your voice is echoing, Mona, because I think you've joined with two systems. Yes. Can you unmute now?
Yeah, my daughter had mentioned about Toastmasters long back, about 2 years back. I
Okay.
searched online in Kolkata. I couldn't find any. I was wanting to join for a long time. I wanted to improve my public speaking. I'm very shy person. But I hesitate speaking in public. So I
All right.
wanted to work on my that
So
trait.
today is your first Toastmasters meeting?
Yeah, correct.
All right. So in that case, you please stay on till the end. We'll see to it that you also get a chance to speak. We have one section where the guests can also speak. So be there so that you can get that chance. Now, with this, I move on to the next bit. And I would request the XCOM team to please put the link to the guest group in the chat box. So yes, here we are in one of the Toastmasters meeting. Toastmasters, which was started 100 years back. So this is for the benefit of our guests, started 100 years back by Dr. Ralsei Smedley. So something which started as a small local club is now spread all over the world. A global entity which has more than thousands of clubs and started with public speaking, now even giving lessons and giving experiences of leadership skills to all the people who join, whether members, non-members. You are here and you come under the impact of this spirit. And we at Gabbys try to imbibe the same Toastmasters spirit by providing the right kind of learning experience to one and all. And the attempt is to make each meeting better than the previous one. So with every new meeting, we keep on reinventing, keep on adding something new, keep on experimenting something. And again, so in this, following this line of attempts, our next meeting, which happens on Saturday, is going to be a speech marathon. So be a part of that as well. So guests can be a part of the meeting as and when they want to. And yes, Gabbys is a big family. So we are one family having 3 clubs, and that means we meet thrice every week. So that gives ample scope of learning and knowledge sharing for each one of us with all of you who join with us every meeting. Now, without taking much time, I would like to call upon the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Rahul V, who's going to take us forward from here through the meeting. Toastmaster Rahul is currently exploring different forms of life like running, swimming, and reading. Apart from this, Rahul is a passionate Toastmaster whom we all have seen. He's quite new, but we've seen him improving and evolving as a great speaker, that too in a very, very short span of time. Congratulations for that, Rahul. And I hope you'll now take us ahead forward with this cinematic journey of yours during the meeting. Over to you. The virtual stage is all yours.
Thank you for that wonderful intro, Presiding Officer. So, you might be wondering, today's topic is cinematic journey. And what am I going to do in this? As you can see, I do look like a director. So, let me explain to you what it means, So I was thinking the other day, like I was just watching this movie and I was thinking, how would it be if I was in that movie? How interesting can it be? Have we all not had that thought? You watch a movie and all of a sudden you imagine that character to be in that self. Then something hit me. I realized that every one of us are in a journey of different stories, if you think about it. Some are in rom-com, some are in horror, some are just living their life plain simple. So that brings me to this today's meeting. And once again, good evening to my fellow Toastmasters, and also good morning to the fellow Toastmasters who are like joining over the globe. I would like to ask you this. What is one movie that you watched recently that you thought that I want to live in that movie? Or this is a movie that I can definitely be in? Any raise of hands? Anyone here would like to share your thoughts on this? Okay, I can see Toastmaster Alia raising a hand. Please, go ahead.
I felt like this movie called Tare Zameen Par was like really good. It had that kind of a small kid's thought point of view. Like we could associate ourselves when we were small, like how we went through the journey of schooling and our kind of happening stage of our life, like how we grew up during that state of life. So like I can associate with Tare Zameen Par. It was a real amazing movie and kind of a real touchy movie as well. The mother and the son's bond was like really amazing. So I feel Tare Zameen Par was like a real good one.
Okay. If I'm not mistaken, this is the movie in which the kid learns he is good in drawing, right? Oh yeah, I watched that movie and it's a very inspirational movie and it's also very fun. I watched it as a kid. So thank you for sharing your thoughts. Anyone else would like to share their thoughts? I already saw Toastmaster Sunil like in the beginning itself giving us like movie cues, like making us judge what movies all we watched. So anybody like to okay, I can see Toastmaster Siddharth, please go ahead.
So I would love to be a part of How to Train Your Dragon. And I would like to sit on that dragon and take a ride.
That movie is like really fun when you watch it animated, but
Yeah.
in real life, it's like the dragon. It'll be more into a Game of Thrones scenario. But again, I like your vivid imagination, Toastmaster Siddharth, and thank you for sharing your thoughts. So now that we've gotten a little gist of what today's meeting is going to be, and that's how it's going to be. The meeting is like, the same as this meeting. This meeting is going to have its own stages, our own woes, and stages where we all relate to and want to be a part of. Now, let me give you a structure of what this meeting is going to be like. As Toastmasters meeting will start off with the prepared speeches, in which the member will give a speech that he or she has already prepared before. Then we move on to a session called as table topics. In this session, the members or the guests can also participate, where the table topic master will give a topic and you get to speak on it for a minute or two. And the last, as always, a critique of the meeting, or as we like to call it, the evaluator. The evaluator will give us their finding on the prepared speeches and what are the woes and cons that we can improve. And also note, we also have a table topic evaluator as well, I believe. So yeah, and the table topic evaluator will give us the evaluation on the speeches or the topics that we spoke upon. So to do this, we have a special member today. That is a timer. And as all meetings go, we need to keep a track of a time. So we know where we have what time and what speeches where we can improve on. So today's timer would be Toastmasters Suchita. So a little bit about Toastmasters Suchita. Toastmaster Suchita is originally from Delhi and she has made Mumbai her home. And she's also a dedicated talent acquisition partner at a prominent medical device company. She excels in her professional role, but outside work, she cherishes her time exploring new destinations and creating memorable moments with her child. Toastmaster Suchita, could you please give us an intro as to what a timer does?
Thank you, Toastmaster Rahul. Time is what we want most. Like everybody wants most the time, but we use the words. So good evening, Toastmaster and your guest. As a timer, I will be timing table topic. So today we don't have a prepared speech section, but we will be having a project to the panel discussion. So I will be timing for the panel discussion as well as table topic speakers and the evaluation. I'll also alert each speaker of the time they have left. You will be yellow, red card, which denote specific time remaining. So for the panel discussion, we have 20 to 4 minutes. So at the 20 minutes, I show the green card. Yellow card I will show at the 30 minutes and the red card I will show at the 40 minutes. For the table topic, we have 2 minutes. So I will show one at the 1 minute green card. I will show the 1 minute green card, 1 minute 30 second I show the yellow card, and at the 20 minute I show the red card. 30 minutes is a grace period. Same like for the evaluation as well. So for the evaluation, we have 2 minutes, 2 minutes I will show the green card, 2 minutes 30 seconds I will show the yellow card, and 3 minutes I will show the red card. Over to you.
All right. Thank you for the wonderful intro, Toastmaster Suchita. So now let me move on to the next session of the meeting. That is the prepared speeches. Now, today we have 1 prepared speeches, and this would be given by Toastmaster Jaspreet Kaur. So before I start with that, can I please, can the evaluator, Toastmaster Bindhu, please acknowledge that you're there? Toastmaster Bindhu, can you acknowledge that?
Hello, so sorry, I was just in the middle of traffic. I'm very much here, Rahul.
All right, then. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
You're on mute, Rahul.
Oh, my bad. I did the same thing. So, and a speaker, Toastmaster Jaspreet, a little bit intro about her. I know that she's been introduced already, but let me give a small intro. She's my Toastmaster mentor for my Toastmaster journey, and she's a very passionate person, and she's always helpful. And I'm definitely looking forward to her speech. Now, let me give you a project details. She is attempting the path name for the presentation mastery. Level is 5. Project number is elective. And the project name is moderate a panel discussion. And the purpose of the project is for the member to apply their skills as a public speaker and leader to facilitate a panel discussion. Timer, please note the speech is between 20 to 40 minutes. And the speech title is Chalkboard or No Board. Toastmaster Jaspreet, chalkboard or no board? Chalkboard or no board? Toastmaster Jaspreet.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Rahul, for this introduction and added bit of introduction. That's a bonus for me today. All right. So before I begin, one question to the audience. With a raise of hands, either virtual or physical, please let me know how many of you went to school. I can't say going to school, but how many of you went to a regular school? So the ones who are not raising their hands, what does that mean? Means they are not attentive. Otherwise, they wouldn't be sitting in this Toastmasters meeting. So thank you so very much, everybody. Now, school, when we talk about, it brings a flood of memory to our mind. Isn't it? A lot of memories come to our mind. Chalkboard, duster, maybe the playground, running gear, fighting, scoring marks, the bell ringing for maybe, the recess or the day coming to an end, some extra bonus holiday being announced, stolen tiffin, maybe a report card day, sometimes very good, sometimes very bad. So it's a mixture that we have. Now, with that, there is one more kind, and all these things, they become part of stories that we remember, that we recall. So one more bit that gets added to it is, I'll share my example with you and see how many of you are able to resonate with that. So I was, I don't know, 7 or 8, or how old was I? I was too small at that time. I asked my teacher, ma'am, why does this moon go with me wherever I go? And you know what answer I got? Jaspreet, it is not in the chapter today. And I waited and waited and waited. And I'm sure, looking at the expressions, I know that must have been the case with many of us, and not just the only case. So our school journey is about the answers we were told, we memorized, but it is also about the questions that remain unanswered. They were asked, they were unanswered, or at times they were snubbed away also. So let's revisit that. There is nobody here is going to say, let's do this or that. So chalkboard or no board, what is it? What is the right thing? And before we start, so for my panelists also and the others as well, when we are bringing up this discussion, it is not that this is only for parents. The one who introduced me to this discussion was not even a parent at that time, which I'll disclose at a later stage. So the parents who are there with children into regular schools, traditional schools, the parents who are about to get their children admitted to a school, the parents who have tiny tots with them, and the people who are going to be would-be parents. Everybody, all inclusive, because this is something which concerns the growth of the child, the career of the child, something which we would want to research. So that is the attempt over here today with all the panelists, different ones from different fields, but then let's see what they have to tell us and what do we get to learn from them. So that is what we are going to talk about, experiment, understand, discuss with each one of you. And before I go ahead further, one request by the panelists, sit with a pen and a paper. So probably an activity or something to jot down or whatever, but be ready because something would be shared so you are able to note it down. So let's revisit a couple of questions. One is school the only way to learn? When we say school, we mean a traditional school. Can children flourish without a schooling system, a traditional schooling system? And education. What does it mean to be really educated? Now for this, I have a trio of voices with me, each courageous in their own way. One who says children can learn freely without formal schooling. The other one who created a school based on her child's need for something gentler, deeper, maybe more free. And one who trusted his instincts as a parent and chose a path less taken. So let's begin with the panelist. Our first panelist today is someone who wears many hats, a storyteller, a thinker, and a passionate advocate of self-driven learning. Siddharth Maskeri, a renowned storyteller and creative force with over 25 years of experience in animation, filmmaking, and also experiential learning. He made his cinematic debut with the story of Masti Express and went on to create Get My Goat with DreamWorks, Enko the Eskimo with Cartoon Network USA, and Pajama with Sony. Today, Siddharth is here as a panelist who invites us to rethink education as a living, breathing experience and not as a timetable. He believes that children, when trusted and given the right environment, are naturally wired to explore, question, and grow without the need for imposed curriculum or rigid schooling systems. So he calls himself a story shaman and invites us to imagine a world where learning is not delivered but discovered. So let's welcome Siddharth Maskeri amongst us to the Gabbys family today. Siddharth, a story shaman, a pedagogue, and a facilitator of awakening. Welcome, Siddharth.
Thank you so much.
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jaspreet ji and the entire team for creating such a beautiful platform for interaction. And it's a privilege to be here and interact with all of you. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I hope all of you have your pen and notebooks.
Yes.
Okay. We'll do a quick drawing session.
Let me just introduce the other panelists also, Siddharth, then we'll start.
Okay, please.
Yeah. All right. So our second panelist is Ms. Neeti Gupta, an engineering graduate who holds an MBA in HRM from IIT Kharagpur. Neeti serves as the visionary founder of Sketches Montessori School, the first Montessori community in Delhi NCR, with multi-age environments from 1.4 to 12-year-old children. Both as a founder and a parent, Neeti is deeply committed to building and nurturing a community of young Montessori learners and like-minded parents dedicated to facilitating, transforming education for their children up to adolescence. Sketches Montessori, a school born out of love, reflection, and deep dissatisfaction with traditional methods, what started with her daughter's journey is now shaping many others. She believes schools can evolve and learning can be child-led yet rooted. Let's welcome Ms. Neeti Gupta, the founder of Sketches Montessori School. Welcome to Gabbys, Neeti. And finally, we have Mr. Nimesh Sharma, the founder of Good Guys and India's leading outdoor engagement expert. He has been a corporate communications professional with multinational firms, including Microsoft and United Nations. In his second innings, he is a sports consultant and a guest faculty, teaching sports marketing and employee productivity using sports. Through his sports and outdoor events, Nimesh has transformed lives of over 10,000 people, helping them build fitness and resilience. He has completed 7,000 kilometers of cycling, 700 kilometers of running, 70 of swimming, and a few triathlons. He is experienced in adventure sports like kayaking, trekking, rock climbing, and surfing. Okay, so today he's here amongst us as a panelist, for he as a parent began questioning traditional schooling even before his daughter was born. His search led him to collaborative learning spaces that honor each child's individuality. He represents a voice many parents have, but few dare to follow. Let's welcome the visionary parent, Nimesh Sharma, to Gabbys. Nimesh, you are welcome over here. And just for the benefit of the guests, I would just want to add a little bit offhand information over here. So Nimesh has been my student when he was a student of 10th, 11th, and 12th. And he's the man who introduced, when he got married and he visited me with his wife, is when he asked me, ma'am, what do you think about homeschooling? So that seed was sown. I don't know what year it was, Nimesh, you'll be knowing better. So that is, since then we've been talking, and Nimesh is the one who connected me with Siddharth, sent me to a workshop being conducted by him. And we have, Siddharth, we have Smriti also there, right? So Smriti Raj is Siddharth's wife. Smriti, welcome you over here. And then he connected me with Neeti, and Neeti is the principal in whose school Nimesh's daughter is studying right now. So it already seems to be a well-knit family. So I welcome all of you over here and hope to have a great time with all of you. Now, Siddharth, before I start off with a formal question, you were wanting to ask something, a task or something. Would you like to do that first?
Yes, let
All
me
right.
yes,
Please,
begin an
please.
interaction and then I'll ask you to ask the
Go ahead.
questions. Okay, so all of you get your pen and notebooks out. Okay, I'm going to count down from 10, and in 10 seconds, I need you to draw a house, just a house. Okay, the countdown starts now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, stop. Okay, and I want you to show see whether the house looks like this. Let me remove the blur. The house look like this one. Okay. So the question is, why does everyone draw the same house? One might be three-dimensional, but it's the same house. Okay. Why does the mind not go beyond that house to maybe a nest, to a beehive, to the human body in which microorganisms live? Tell me one thing, one object or one thing in the universe which is not a house. There's not a single thing in this universe which is not a house, but when we are asked to draw a house, we draw that house. So what crisis is this? Okay. And how did this crisis happen? And we are all programmed to give the same answer. So this is the reason, absolutely the same reason why I believe that education needs to be about experience and not about information. This information has been fed to us in our childhood again and again. Okay, whether it is the house, okay, and all the other sources of information that we get is programming us every day, either by the propagandas of the people who are in our system. Okay, so we need to understand and be aware of how we are educating ourselves, not only in our childhood, but even as an adult. Because I don't think that education ever stops. And schooling really ever stops and learning ever stops. I believe that once we believe that we have arrived, I think that's the end of it. So it's very important for us to pin this house on our wall, see it every day, to make us aware of the deprogramming that we have to do. Of, I don't know how many codes have been fed into. Okay, maybe not directly, maybe indirectly. Okay, maybe very subtly. So, for example, I have had so many experiences in my life where we have stereotyped people. I have stereotyped people. Okay. All my childhood, I used to crack jokes on Sardar, living in Bombay. Okay. And then when I actually lived in the villages of Punjab, I realized that the jokes were all really not true. So, yeah. And one of my Sardarji friends, I went to his house and I thought like, chalo ek joke bolte hai, so I had to really think abhi kaun sa joke bole. So that's a kind of programming that has happened to us. Okay. And we need to be very aware of that programming and deprogram it, reprogram it, experience to program ourselves. Yeah. Okay. Please.
All right. Thank you for that bit, Siddharth. And just to add on, now I'm also your Siddharth friend. So Please be watchful for that as well. All right. So, okay, you've started the discussion already by adding this part at your end. So just taking it on from here, you spoke about the crisis of programming and, deprogramming and reprogramming. I would want to know, when was it when you were aware about it so very much that you thought that, this is what is going to be your field, or not, if not a field, but then I believe you are actually working on these parameters. That is what I understood when I also attended your workshop. So when did it hit you so hard and seeped into your system that you thought that, you'll become a voice for this particular cause?
Beautiful. Beautiful. So the first and most foremost thing is that we need to listen to our own voice. Okay. And not our noise. Most of the time we listen to the noise and not our voice. So as soon as we begin to listen to our voice, which comes from the heart, life becomes very clear. It can become scary because the path is unknown, but it's very clear. Okay. That we have to go on the unknown path. So there were 2 times in life where I was confused and I had to listen to the voice. One, through the schooling. Okay, and then when I realized that I have to be a storyteller and filmmaker, I was doing my microbiology. Okay, and my parents weren't agreeing to it because the entire, 99% of this population live in fear. And how do I survive in the survival mode? Okay, so like we say, we are in a vibration, all of us vibrate. So vibration is this way, from one to the other, like this. So, and most of the population live in the vibration of survival and relaxation, like this. Only maybe 0.11%, like 0.01% actually vibrate in relaxation and evolution. Most are vibrating in survival and relaxation. So how does this happen? And as a child, or rather every child who's a dreamer is in the evolution and relaxation. Always curious. What to do now? What to learn today? What to learn tomorrow? So it's always growing. And as soon as we start getting older, the learning curve begins to plateau and we begin to survive. So first of all, as soon as my heart said storyteller, animator, it was a fight at home. Okay. To convince my parents that I will survive and thrive in the field that I'm dreaming of. Okay, so that began in the year 99. I had to do my research, tell them, okay, there is a scope for me to work and earn money. Their concerns were genuine because we have to survive to thrive. Okay, but definitely parents start dreaming for their children. Okay, rather than let the child dream and I'm there for you. Okay, so I faced it and I had to put in a lot of research and energy to share and educate them that yes, right now animation is still a new medium, unlike it was in the US in 99. But there are openings and there is a scope for me to grow. And as I began to work and learn, because I'm a self-learned storyteller and animation filmmaker, I haven't gone to a formal school to do this. Okay, it's just sort of have learned it on the job. So 20 years down the line, I began to vibrate in survival and relaxation because 20 years down the line, I have a family to support. Okay. And once you have a family, the family members, the environment around you begins to program you, and we begin to program ourselves that now being in a family means being a provider. Okay. Being in a family means growing your assets, buying more houses or buying bigger houses, buying more cars or buying bigger cars. Okay. Taking more loans and then jumping from one job to the other where there's more salary. But after 20 years, I realized that I wasn't happy. I realized that I have a bed that is worth 20,000 rupees, but I don't have sleep. So how is this? What has happened to me? Okay, when I started my career, I was so happy learning animation. But now I'm in animation, but I'm totally frustrated. So how did this happen? So I again had to ask myself, what happened? What is the real reason why I chose animation? Was it really to make more houses, to buy bigger cars, to become famous? Was it to win an Oscar, to prove myself to my parents that I can be successful? Why did I really do animation? So my heart's voice said only 4 words. It said spread happiness through storytelling. So I feel that children, whether it is a 35-year-old child or a 20-year-old child, okay, or a 10-year-old child, if we are connected to the voice of our heart, the universe will always be there to support. And I've seen that in my life, that the universe conspires when you listen to the heart's voice.
Thank you so much, Siddharth. I totally resonate with you. The universe does listen to us when we listen to ourselves, is how I put it. Because generally we don't listen to ourselves also. Thank you very much. My next question is for you, Neeti. Neeti, what gaps did you see in traditional schooling that you went on to creating this kind of a platform for your own child, that you brought in this Montessori thing? And I would like you to very briefly tell the audience, because generally when we talk about Montessori, people feel Montessori 1, Montessori 2, and then class first, second, third, the way it happens in school. So do elaborate a bit on that. What is actually Montessori? So
Sure.
first, yes. Yes.
Sure, Jaspreet. Thank you. I'm very happy to be here. Wonderful opportunity. So, to your question, Jaspreet, I resonate a lot with what Siddharth has just said, and even Alia mentioned earlier about Tare Zameen Par. You know, we all remember our childhood, how it was, how schooling was for us, and we've all been to traditional schools. And from all the experiences, I think everybody has felt somewhere humiliated. You know, even the students who are top rankers, who are top graders, would somewhere or the other feel humiliated, right? So if you look at the traditional schools today, they are still run, as an analogy, like a factory. It's a factory where you club the same group of children together, and you assume that if you give them the same input, they would produce the same output within the same time. You know, so that's what happened to us. But human beings are not machines. You know, we are not products. And in fact, what happened was that knowledge was imparted very dryly, right? The maths teacher would come and give his lessons, the English teacher would come and give their lessons, and we had a timetable, etc. There was no connection between all those subjects. There was no real life experiences through which we could understand and apply the information that we were getting, right? So one was expected to rote learn, and we were constantly judged by the adults, and the list goes on. All of these are the problems of traditional schools, and it still exists today. Whereas Montessori is a very scientific approach towards education, and it understands the child's psychology. So when we are working with children, we have to first understand them. Only then we can support them and guide them appropriately, right? So what we do in Montessori, for those of you who may not be aware, first of all, it's very diluted. A lot of schools and people say that they're doing Montessori, but they're not. So there are some very key principles that Montessori schools should have. Some of them are a mixed age environment, for example. So children, just like real life, reflects, in the Montessori environments, they work in a mixed stage. So for example, children from 2.5 to 6 would work together. And we don't call them classrooms, they're environments where all the materials that the children need to learn with. They are scientifically designed materials through which children can explore through their hands, through their minds, and then, indirectly their mind gets developed. They're all displayed around the children. And they have a 3-hour continuous work cycle, and everything the children do, we don't call it studying or playing. In fact, we call it work, because if you look at from birth, children love to work. They are developing themselves, they are mastering all these movements all by themselves. We don't teach them how to walk, we don't teach them how to talk, so there is really no teaching. What children are doing, and we've some of us who have children would know, if we have observed them enough closely, that they learn all by themselves. All they need is a conducive environment around them with very rich experiences which mirror real life situations. So this is broadly what Montessori is about, and it goes on beyond early years. That's another misconception people have. It goes on beyond till the age of 18. So we have environments for the 6 to 12 age group also. Again, a mixed age where they all learn and work together. And it is very beautiful because older children are role modeling and, being leaders in the environment, helping the younger ones learn, and the younger ones learn much, much faster through this experience, because there is no a syllabus limit for them. There is no curriculum limit. If, for example, a 5-year-old is interested in a math concept which traditionally is introduced to a 7-year-old or an 8-year-old, if they're interested in learning that, they can. So that's what this environment provides them. And as you asked me, why I chose this method for my daughter, and we wanted to set up this environment for other children also, is because we really wanted the children to learn joyfully. It should not be a burden, it should not be an imposition, because children are very joyfully learning from birth. And as Siddharth said, somewhere that survival and the pendulum shifts to survival and fulfilling the needs. So we really want the children to continue exploring and learning through their as a natural development, right? And that's how they develop self-confidence, because we don't judge children, so there are no rewards, of course, no punishments in the environment, there is no exams. So children are working on different materials. If there are, say, 30 children in the environment, some could be working on language, some could be working on say something, a map, a geography map, somebody could be working on something in biology, somebody could be doing some math work. So it's not a class where the teacher has come with an agenda that today all of the children will learn this, and this. Right? So it's a very live learning environment where the children of mixed stages come together and they explore through their senses, through their bodies, by manipulating these very scientifically designed materials to develop their mind. And really, the hands and the senses are the instruments to develop the mind. We cannot reach the mind directly, and it is proven by science. So that's another beautiful aspect about this approach, that there is enough scientific support and evidence that it is a very effective method for helping children naturally develop.
Thank you so very much, Neeti. And listening to you and visualizing, I already feel like visiting your school now after this.
Please do,
So
please.
very soon I'll be doing that, Neeti. Now with this, we move on to our third panelist today, Nimesh. So Nimesh, what was it that made you search for an alternative schooling pattern for your daughter even before she was born? You were afraid of something, or you wanted something special? What was it? Because I've seen those days when you used to be, asking people, putting it up on Facebook also, asking people their viewpoint, and then a lot of discussion happening. What was it that, because you are a product of a traditional school, what made you think and research so much? A lot of brainstorming you did. What was the reason behind?
Thank you so much, Jaspreet ma'am. Thank you for this opportunity. I am super excited to meet all of you and to be on this panel. It's a privilege for me. So about this question, so in fact, I had started researching about non-schooling or homeschooling even before my marriage. So yes, it goes like 15 years back. So okay, So in 2016, I had started my personal journey of cycling, of running, of swimming, as you gave my introduction. So इसमें मैं ना काफी deep जा चुका हूँ. So I'm a long distance cyclist. I've done like 150 kilometer in a single trip. I've done 2 kilometers of swimming non-stop. I've done multiple treks. I've done a proper course in kayaking in Rishikesh. So and through all of these, the kind of learnings I have, मैंने रियलाइज किया था कि ये तो स्कूल में कहीं सिखाता ही नहीं है, मतलब कोई कोशिश भी नहीं होती. एंड दीज आर ऑल इंडिविजुअल लर्निंग्स जो मिली हुई. सो लेट मी गिव यू वन एग्जांपल. सो आई वाज डूइंग दिस कायाकिंग कोर्स इन ऋषिकेश in river Ganga. So वहां पे river Ganga is a very violent river. So imagine you are upside down in a boat in a river. You are upside down in water. Okay. There you are attached with the boat and you are expected to be patient there. So my instructor said, you have to not panic. You have to, so I'm upside down in the water. You have to feel the boat and then you tap and then I will rescue you. So at that time, the death flashed across my eyes कि हो सकता है इसके बाद बाहर ही ना हो. ठीक है. The life skill that I developed from this was not to panic. So now I am someone who just cannot panic. These are not skills जो किसी स्कूल में सिखा सकते हैं. These are only outdoor skills that आप outdoor में ही सीख सकते हो. So it could be any of the sport, it could be adventure, or it could be going deep into nature. So in last 1 year, I've been going deep into forests, going for a lot of nature walks, bird walks. I've seen more than 200 bird species. And the more I go into nature, the more I realize that I know nothing. So these were some of the prompts that led me to explore new environments like the Montessori one. So मैं traditional school नहीं चाहता था. I realized I had complaints from my school. I wanted to be the head boy, but because I did not have certain qualities, I was not made one. So so there were more factors. So very thankfully, I came in touch with Montessori system. So I got in touch with homeschooling community. A lot of people are doing wonderful stuff. So Siddharth and Smriti are some of the homeschoolers I got in touch with. So this is overall what prompted me to go for a non-traditional approach where kids do and then learn. They are not doing rote learning. That was my motivation.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Nimesh. Now, before I go ahead further with the next question, because we have a constraint of time as well, so I would welcome questions from the audience as well. If anyone has a question, please raise your hand. Otherwise, I can go on and on with them. Their topics, their answers seem music to my ears. So anyone has a question, please raise your hand. We'll incorporate you in between. So coming back to you. Okay, we have Shashikant. Shashikant, please come up with your question.
My question is to, thank you, Jaspreet, for allowing me. My question is for Neeti. So the method that you are applying, it seems very interesting, but means what have been your finding? Is it slower? The learning is slower in that than reading directly from, or
Absolutely not. In fact, the opposite. Because see, everything that the children do in the environment is offered to them in such a way that they feel I can do it. It's about building that attitude. So there is no time limit also. A child can work on an activity for 30 minutes. A child could choose to do something for 10 minutes. And basically in such an environment, they develop a concentration. So they begin to focus on their work. It's like a flow. Have you heard of the concept of flow? So they go into a flow where they develop their brain structure. So in the first 6 years, so for first thing that we have to understand is we need to understand children better in terms of psychology, scientifically. Because see, it's then otherwise it's about being a doctor to a patient without knowing anything about a human body. Then you're doing anything random. So first, when we work with the children, we have to understand that, and there is enough scientific research done to understand child psychology, which is fairly new, which was not maybe the past 50 or 60 years only. Right? So if you look at that, children are very quick learners. Naturally, all children. All they need is a conducive environment where they can have certain experiences with working on materials so that they can develop their mind. And they can become concentration, they can develop concentration, they can develop a love for work, all kinds of work. There is no menial work in our environment. They do cleaning of the floor. Older children are even cleaning the toilets. They're caring for nature. They have nature walks, and we do, planting, composting, a lot of that. Everything to
Okay.
do with the hands. And they constantly feel, I am capable. See, if you
Okay.
give the child a very challenging work, they will not be interested. They will
Okay.
not be able to do it. If you give the
Okay.
child a very easy work, again, they will be bored. You have to find the right kind of challenge for each child. And that's why the learning becomes personalized. And we
Okay.
offer them all human knowledge. It's not that geometry will be only introduced in, say grade 1. All the human knowledge that we have, from botany to zoology to geography to history, whatever subjects that you can think of, is offered to all age groups, but according to the psychology of the child.
Okay.
That's it. And really, it's not a method, it's a way of life. We
Okay.
don't want to
And
call
that's
it
what.
a method. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So this way of life of learning, is
Yeah.
it a supplement to the regular studies, or
Absolutely not.
is it only a supplement, or is it going to be an alternative?
It's the main kind of education. See, what is education? Education is everything that you do with your child. When you speak to the child about anything, that's also education. When you are talking to your house help in front of the child, that's also education. How you deal in situations which are tough and challenging, that's also how you lose your temper. All of that is education. So we it is, everything they do in the environment is leading to development of emotional stability, to their social development. It's a live social environment.
Okay.
And in fact, it's an interesting thing, we say that the children have been given freedom, but that doesn't mean do as you please. For example, we have gathered here today in this session, right? Do you all feel free? You feel free because you know the rules of this session. You know when to speak, when not to speak, how to raise your hand. There is a structure in the session. And when it is your turn to speak, you have the freedom to speak. You see, so there is freedom without limits or responsibility is not true freedom. That becomes an encroachment in other people's rights.
Very rightly said, Neeti. I think that would become a chaotic society. So we need to know where to draw the line as well. So a very quick question, Joanne, from you, and then we'll move ahead.
Thank you, Jaspreet, and what wonderful insights and inputs I had from all the panelists. Thank you so much. So I have a question to the panelists in general. You speak about the natural environment of learning. How do you see this being upscaled globally? And this question comes from the fact that I feel the contemporary education system is an industrialized education system. Basically, you want people to be like, in factories and industries, so you're producing that. So that's not even education, that's an agenda, and we all are victims of that agenda. But now the environment where you're talking about giving the freedom of exploring things, but how will you upscale this globally to a world where there are so many demands? If you give complete freedom, what is that? How do you see like how humans are going to fulfill all the demands of the society? So how will you upscale this globally and make this a mainstream education system? That's my question to the panelists.
So Siddharth, you want to take the question? So we have to be very quick now.
Yeah. So I was requested by a person who was starting an alternate school to come up with a school curriculum pedagogy, and this was in a village of Punjab. And when we actually started thinking about it, we realized that we have no connection with the cultural roots of Punjab. Okay, because I come from Bombay. So I was thinking, how can I create a action curriculum for this person? I can't do that. So I realized that I can only come up with an approach, but not a curriculum. And the curriculum has to be designed by each and every person across the world using an approach. So we came up with a pedagogy. And we told them that you implement the pedagogy, but you'll have to come up with the curriculum. And that's the only way I feel that it can be scaled up. It cannot be a copy paste.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Siddharth. Nimesh, are you there? My next
Yes,
question
I'm
is
there.
for you. Since you are the parent who's actually, gone through this entire thing, I want you to give one message, a quick message to the parents. So when I say parents, I've already explained who all comes in the category of parents, the way you started off very early thinking about children. So
Mhm.
one quick message that you would want to give to parents.
One quick my message is so keep your learning options very very open. The पुराने जमाने में होता था the whole world is your learning platform. So everything around you is adds to your learning of your child. So don't restrict your options. Go out and explore. Even when we are traveling, it's kind of a it's always a learning curve for us. So don't restrict your options. That's my only message. Do not outsource your education to the school. Whether you are homeschooling or unschooling or sending your child to school, but do not outsource your education. You are the custodian. It's in your hands how to groom your child. That's my message.
Thank you so very much. Although I would like this to go on and on and on, but then yes, the restriction of time is there. So what I have understood is not one size fits all, and it has to be child centric. And another thing, which I've always been saying, I think many of the Toastmasters also must have heard it. I am fond of repeating this one line when children are concerned. It is better caught than taught. Create the environment, show them by example, involve them into it. So I think that is what it is. And now there's a lot of homework that people over here have to do, a lot of research they can do. There's so much to know and so much to learn, because these four walls are not the place where children need to be confined. They are full of energy, bubbling with life, joy, so much creativity. So let's allow them or help them in spreading their wings out. Let's work out on different options that are available for them so that it can become a happy childhood for them. A happy childhood enables the child to grow up into a happy and a more progressive or fruitful or a happy adult, which would make the society far, far more better than what it is today. Thank you to all my panelists. Thanks a lot for taking out your time and being here with me. And I'm sure I'm going to have you here once again. So until then, thank you very much for being here. I hope you also had a nice time along with us. Thanks to the guests also who joined for this discussion. And over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Rahul.
Hi, Rahul is facing some electricity issues.
All right, not a problem.
Excellent work, Jaspreet. Thank you, everyone, for conducting such a wonderful panel discussion. The Toastmaster of the day has joined, and let's see if he's able to carry on, or we'll go on a 5 minutes break. And I'm sure until then he'll be able to sort out.
Yes. So let's go on a 5 minutes break, everybody. And it's 8:03 right now. So by 8:08, we'll join back over here. We are here only, but then we'll start with the meeting once again.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. So next, we'll be moving on to this session of evaluation of the prepared speeches that we saw. And for this, let me call upon the evaluator, Toastmaster Bindhu. But before we go to that, I just want to check with the timer. Timer, can you please confirm the timings, the time taken for the speech?
So the time taken actually went beyond that. So it is 42 minutes and 50 seconds.
All right.
So I'm
then.
not sure
Okay.
if it is
Thank you.
qualified or disqualified.
Since we won't have any polls today, I think you can just put the time details in the chat box. I think that should be okay. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll send across my details
So
once
let
the table topic and evaluation will be completed.
yeah, sure. That also works. So let me call upon the evaluator, Toastmaster Bindhu.
Thank you, Rahul. I was assuming my evaluation would be after the table topics, but is it going to be now?
Yeah, so there's been a little bit of this one. So we can have the evaluation right now itself. Are you okay with that? You can give the evaluation.
Okay, fine. But I won't be able to be on video. I had anticipated it a little later. If that is all right, I'll proceed with my evaluation.
Later.
Okay, fine then. So Toastmasters, then we'll continue with the this itself then. You can give evaluation at the ending itself. So you can
Okay,
take your
thank
time.
you, Rahul.
Yeah. All right then. Okay, everyone. So coming back to the meeting, and yeah. So I was just wondering. So recently I watched this movie called the White House Down. So this movie was about the president of the US. He brings upon a radical change. All of a sudden he wants to stop war and all that. And these terrorists take over this group, and there's this one main character. And he comes to this kid. He works in the US. This itself, the White House, and he tries to rescue his kid. In that process he gets entangled with all these things, and during all this I was just wondering, like how much of a pressure it has to be, as a dad, you take a kid to this one meeting, and all of a sudden you're getting entangled in all these things. So movies like that are very like very imaginative in times like that. So now let us go back to the next session of our meeting. That would be the table topics. So for this, let me call upon our table topic master, that is Toastmaster Yogita, and a small intro about Toastmaster Yogita. She's a go with the flow person and joyful, and she's all a people person and she's currently enjoying a phase as a HR and image and also soft skills trainer. Beyond the 9 to 5 hustle, you will find her dancing, reading, read reading mind-bending books, exploring new places, or experimenting with different foods. The stage is all yours, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rahul. What a wonderful introduction. One thing you missed, I also love watching movies. Anyways, I didn't give you, so you missed it. Nonetheless, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. How are you all doing today? That was a question. Am I audible?
Very good, very good.
Great.
Great. Okay, so I am your table topic master for tonight, and we are all set to dive into the world of unscripted magic around our theme, cinematic journeys. Just like every great movie has twists, turns, and surprises, tonight you get to be the main character of your own mini scene. So, few rules before we move ahead with the topics. You will have 1 to 2 minutes to speak. The timer will show green card at 1 minute, yellow card at 1 minute 30 seconds, and red card at 2 minutes. There is also a 30 seconds grace period time after it to wrap up. So in case, just clarifying, if someone speaks less than a minute or more than 2 minutes 30 seconds, you would be disqualified. I'll be choosing speakers randomly, but you are free to volunteer. And if by any chance you don't get called today, don't worry. Every week brings a new stage and your spotlight moment is coming. So who would like to take up the first topic? Wow. So I actually get to choose myself. All right. So we have Chandra Yusuf, Toastmaster Chandra, who has raised his hand. Since he has raised his hand, he gets the first chance. Next, I'll be calling anybody random. So be ready and trust me, it would be a fun segment. So pour your energy, bring all the drama, maybe a little bit of romance. Who knows? What story are you going to unfold? All right, Toastmaster Chandra, topic for you. Your life as a movie. What will be the title? Your life as a movie. What will be the title?
The title of my movie would be The Journey of My Life. Why the journey of my life? Because my life has been a long, long journey. I was born in a very tiny village in Indonesia. But I had a big dream. A dream, ladies and gentlemen. A dream to conquer the world. From the village, I want to go to Europe, America, Australia, anywhere else in the world. I don't want to stay in my village all my life with all my village friends. And my village friend would say to me, don't dream that we are only villagers. We don't have any money. We don't have higher education. How come you can dream of going to Europe? You know, Europe have got different language, different money. How can you get the money? But the journey of my life changes the opinion of my friends in the village. I struggle all the way from elementary school until university. And not only that, from university, I told myself my dream is not only here. I must go to Europe. And I tried to get a scholarship. And I could get it. I could get not only in Europe. From Europe, I could go to America on scholarship. Because, you know, I come from the village. We didn't have any money. But I told my friend, look, I can do it. Dream high, aim high, and work hard. You will get it. Back to you.
Awesome start to the wonderful segment. Dream high, aim high, and you will definitely get it. So this is what we were all talking about. Thank you, Toastmaster Chandra, for taking us through your life within the time frame. It was a wonderful speech. Can I now call upon Shashikant, if you're there in the meeting?
I don't think he's there now.
Okay. And can we have Smriti Raj?
She's also dropped out.
Okay. So now, since I can see Toastmaster Alia on camera, I will request for yes, Toastmaster Alia, would you like to take up the next topic?
Sure. Sure.
Great. So Toastmaster Alia, topic for you is a character you would love to play on screen. A character you would love to play on screen.
Can this character be animated or any character? Let it be?
Your life, your movie, any character, ma'am.
So a character I would like to play in real life would be like when we were small, like we used to watch a particular TV show called Barney and Friends. So it was like a real fun TV show. So I always used to dream like when we were small. When I was small, like I used to always dream of being in that particular cartoon or some way because like it was really enjoyable and stuff. Playing around with friends, same age bracket, a dinosaur like a really fun dinosaur, trying to play with us and being real friendly and empathetic kind of. We kids like we always used to feel dinosaurs were really scary and stuff because like our elders used to say like it was an extinct species and it was a real scary one and it used to destroy the whole surroundings. But that particular dinosaur used to capture all our kind of childhood and stuff. So I used to always feel like what if we also are part of that particular screen and if we weren't a celebrity, if we were a celebrity for sure we would have been, but we aren't a celebrity. So how would we come onto the screen because that particular character was really adorable. So I always wished I could have been in that particular show when I was small.
Wonderful take, Toastmaster Alia, and that brings me back to my memory of when I was a kid and I used to watch Bob the Builder. I'm not sure if any one of you resonate with that show. I loved that, though he was a bit stupid. Now, if I realize what he used to talk. I used to watch him and I used to admire. Oh yeah, he can even make the vehicle start. Like I would definitely want to get into that zone. So yes, Toastmaster Alia, I completely relate with you. Thank you for sharing your experience. Now, can we have Toastmaster Michael, our reinstated member? Would you like to take up our next topic?
Um, hello, Toastmaster Yogita. I'm just outside. I just don't want to miss this meeting, even though I'm traveling. I'm just hearing to that all those talks. I'm sorry to. I'm unable to take these topics at this moment.
No worries. There's always another chance, Michael, and you will not escape all the chances. Next,
Thank
can
you so
we?
much.
Yeah. Next, can we have Toastmaster Smriti? Would you like to take up the next topic? Okay. Toastmaster Smriti, are you there? Okay. Toastmaster Prasad, would you like to take up the next topic?
Yeah, I want to, but I
Love,
can't unable to turn on my camera. That's why I can't.
lovely. Until you're able to speak well, we are completely fine knowing
Okay.
about how you are going to do in your movie. Anyway, the topic for you is which movie's ending would you change and how? Which movie's ending would you like to change and how?
Which ending of the movie I can change? Okay, that one is interesting. Mm, since 3 days before I saw a movie called Top Gun Maverick. Most of us saw it. I guess who saw it, just raise your hand, please. It's a very adventurous movie for me also. If at the in that movie, in the ending of it, when the Tom Cruise is flying his uh, F-17 after destroying the all Russians of Air Force bases, and he not have any missiles to destroy the fighter jet who are more advanced than F-17, and his his teammate from its aircraft is coming to save her and destroy the Russian fighter jet. I want to change some scenes in that, but I cannot be changed. But I wanted to change something. Just add more fighter jet to it, just more dogfight to it until the F-17 is destroyed and should be ejected from the seat. It should be more adventurous for me. Uh, yeah, that's one is very curious, and I wanted to add some scene into that. And another one is some Indian movie called Swades. After he returned to its India after leaving his job from NASA and joined some ISRO, he should some add some scene to it in that. Yeah, it should be more motivational for me also, and it should be a more uh, motivate for the others also to come to India and join and do some research into that field. Yeah, I wanted to add some scene into that two movies. I really wanted to. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Prasad. I asked for one, you gave me two. Although I have not watched the first one, but your change and your explanation about the movie has somehow got me curious to watch that movie and then re re realize if okay, if Prasad is suggesting this thing, maybe this could be more adventurous. Anyway,
Yeah,
thank you for
it
your
will be.
take on both the
Yeah,
movies and the
yes.
topic. It was good having your inputs. And now, can we have Michael? You've raised your hand. Would you like to speak up?
Yes. Now I have my place. Now, yeah. Now I am okay to go.
Okay, lovely. All right, so next topic for you, Michael. A movie that made you emotional. A movie that made you emotional.
Okay, the movie which made me emotional, multiple movies, I would say, not a one or two movies, but uh, I can resonate. I couldn't be able to remember the name of the movie. I think it's a Ferrari versus Ford. I think so. It's one of the movie. Once I watched that movie and come out of that, I had a mixed feeling of that we have to do something in our life. And also there are other films like mixed films. Like when I came out of certain movies, I do have like so. It would be a uh, what we'd say, like, happy, and then we will be able to have fun. Such things will be there. uh, okay, I just forget the question. Can you come up?
Okay, all right. So, Daima, I request you to start the timing for him again. The topic is a movie that made you emotional and why. You can only talk about one
Okay,
movie.
okay, so that's the only movie, and that was very fantastic movie. And then the way he dedicated himself for the Ford company, even though at that particular time Ferrari was the giant based out of Italy, but the Ford couldn't be able to compete with them. So what that guy did, he just opted for the race, and then they won that race. And at the end of the movie, I was very emotional. It was like we played those scenarios. So that was the emotion I got that from the movie. So yeah, that's all. Over to you, Toastmaster Yogita.
Okay, lovely. I love the script, although I would have loved if I could gauge the name so that I can also feel that connect. Anyway, thanks for your attempt, Michael. It was very nice. He was traveling and still attempting the table topic. And now, Forza Sergeant at Arms, can we have you for the next table topic? Oh, he's lost. Sunil, are you up for the next table topic?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. If your life had a background music, what song would play today? If your life had a background music, what song would play today?
जीना यहाँ मरना यहाँ इसके सिवा जाना कहाँ. This is the song I always like to play as a background music in my life. I'm a practical person. I think that whatever we do for ourselves. We have come here to live our lives. It depends on you how you can enjoy your life, how much you can enjoy your life. I always like foreigners. Why? Because I think that they are enjoying their lives. We Indians only living our lives. So we are just following traditions. We are, as today we talked about traditional education. So we are not coming out of our traditional ways of living lives. We have limited time. Enjoy it. That's one day everyone has to go from here. That's why I always, tell my children that whatever you want to do, you do. Nobody is going to praise you that you did for me or you did for that. After life, you know, you will be hanged on a wall like a picture, and after next generation, the picture is changed. So live your life as much as you can enjoy in that life. जीना यहाँ मरना यहाँ इसके सिवा जाना कहाँ. Thank you. Over to you, table talk master.
All right, that was a good playful music that came out, and I realized, okay, Sunil is, I think, a good bathroom singer. What do you think, guys? Anyway, I like this voice. Sorry for the pun. Anyway, yeah, we need to live in the moment because who knows if there is a tomorrow. Anyway, moving ahead, can we have Toastmaster Bindhu for the next topic? We have two topics. If there is somebody who would like to take up the last chance, you can still raise your hand, or I will pick up the person whosoever I want to. All right, Toastmaster Bindhu, are you up for the topic?
Well, you'll be hearing a little lot of me. If there's no one else, then yes, I'll take the topic.
Oh, we would love to hear from you. Okay. Bollywood or Hollywood? What's your go-to and why?
Actually, my go-to at this point is I've recently ventured into the K scenario. So it's neither Hollywood nor is it Bollywood. Yes, I would never ever imagine myself 5 years back saying that I'd be interested in Korean drama. But believe it or not, I think I have spent today, which is supposed to be a half-day holiday for me, watching a Netflix series with 7 episodes, which is embarrassing for me to really admit. But yes, I did binge watch. Now, why? Why does this fascinate me when I have Hollywood on one side and Bollywood on the other side? Hollywood with all its glamour, Bollywood with its unique Indian, I mean, there's nothing to compare, right? But you know why this forage into the K scenario? It's something like our panel today. It's the old versus the new. There is something a little about their traditional concepts of family, delicate romance, lack of drama, internalization, romantic concepts. It takes you back. I mean, don't you like to be taken back? Isn't Hollywood, Bollywood, whatever, it's about escapism. You all need a little bit of escapism into a mental comfort zone that gives us some sort of escape relief. At this point of time, I am going back to the chalkboard. I'm going back to being traditional, back to traditional values, back to a little bit sedate, slower, underrated. I wouldn't say underrated. I'll say differently rated. So my answer is, at this point, what's charming me, neither Bollywood or Hollywood, a totally different scenario. Back to you, table topic mistress.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bindu. That was an absolutely wonderful take, and I completely relate. Why? Because I am also currently binging on the Korean stuff, and I am also an old school romantic person. All right, the last topic for the evening, and we have the table topic evaluator to go for the topic, even though I have not asked her, but I am sure she would take the topic. And
Yeah,
she's
okay.
and Joanne, in her Joanne mode, yeah, okay, bring it on. All right, Joanne, your topic is, if Toastmasters was a movie, what's the storyline? If Toastmasters was a movie, what's the storyline?
I'm just glad this is not a contest because this is one of the most difficult topics I've heard related to Toastmasters. And if Toastmasters was a movie, what's the storyline? I would say the title of the movie would be After the Break. Now you imagine what's going to happen after the break. Because to me, Toastmasters is that part of my life which is after the break. There is the life that's 9 to 6, and it's a good life. I have no complaints. I won't say it's a bad life. But then, as Bindhu so rightly said, there needs to be something, a mental escapism, a comfort that even I'm looking for. And after the break, I go to Toastmasters in the evenings at 7 p.m. and Saturday mornings at 10 p.m. or sometimes even Sunday afternoons. And this after the break movement is a moment where I feel like I can come and talk about such fascinating imaginatory plots. I can hear to background musics from other people and just forget about the real life that I'm living. And it's so fascinating because whatever you're learning here is actually going to go back and you're going to use it in your real life. Every meeting that I've attended, I've learned something and then taken it back into the so-called life and used it. So it's not in reality an escapism. But the beauty of Toastmasters is that when I'm in this 2 hours meeting, I can forget about the fact that my leg is broken. I can forget about the fact that it's 37 degrees right now, even though it's hot and even though it's the night time. And I can forget about the fact that maybe today I may not make sense about what I'm talking, but that's fine because end of the day, it's just an escapism. So to me, Toastmasters is after the break. And then what happens? I have no idea. So this would be, I think, the plot line for Toastmasters for me. Thank you, and back to you.
All right, thank you, Toastmaster Joane. And yes, your storyline after the break, if I have to summarize it, I would just say escape to reality, the entire plot line of Toastmaster as a movie. Anyway, I had an absolute blast being your table topic master today, even though I'm not sure how much you enjoyed. I enjoyed every bit of it, listening from emotional monologues to spontaneous blockbusters. Every one of you have added your own filmy flavor to this session. So now we know we all have some drama with it. Keep that drama alive. And to those who didn't get a chance, I don't think there is anyone. But in case if there is someone, just like in cinema, the best scenes are always worth waiting for. The mic will find you soon. Until then, keep living your story one scene at a time. This session is a wrap from my end. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Rahul, you're not audible.
Am I audible now?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, my bad. Let's have a good round of applause for Table Topic Master, please, for the wonderful topic she bought. And we all get to know like our own fifth stories and what we liked. So now let me move to our next session of this meeting. That will be the evaluation. And today's evaluator would be Toastmaster Bindhu, who will be evaluating our Toastmaster Jaspreet. Toastmaster Bindhu, it really was good that we waited for you to come on camera and that wonderful background that you have. I really like it. So,
Can I start?
Rahul, you're not audible again.
is this better?
This perfectly fine.
Okay, my bad. Okay, let me give the intro about our Toastmaster Bindhu. So, she's a doctor by profession and a healer by choice. And as a Toastmaster, she's on a continuous journey to learn, improve, and share. And her hobbies are versatile. Anything that challenges her creativity in the present or future. Over to you, Toastmaster Bindhu.
Evaluation is for 2 to 3 minutes.
Yes, that's correct. Evaluations to truth minutes.
So, Jaspreet, first of all, congratulations on your success. Absolutely terrific panel. You had 21 members at the beginning and you had 21 members at the end. Now, if that is not proof of your success, I don't know what is. You have quantified proof of your success. Now, let me elaborate on some things on how great your success was and a few things in which maybe could enhance his success on a future panel. And before all that, I'm going to give a disclaimer. First, I have to apologize to TMOD, and I'm going to apologize to timer. 3 is not going to be my number. Now that that is off my chest, let me proceed. The concept. The most important part about a panel discussion, for me at least, it is the concept. For a moderator, this concept must be passionate to you, and you have an opportunity when you're giving a panel to give us an introduction about that in such a way that you have an enhanced audience, because this is a concept that is passionate to you. So a part of being a panelist is the homework that you do beforehand. I feel in the intro in Gabbys for a panel discussion, this was one of the shortest panel discussion intros that I have seen. Maybe in the next time, elaborate a little more on the introduction so that you have a wider audience. Now, the concept as you introduced it at the beginning of your panel, you did introduce why you were passionate about it, why we should be passionate about it. But then when you introduced your focus of your audience, I think you could have broadened it. You spoke about parents, to-be parents, future parents. But what about non-parents? I'm a non-parent, but I'm an educator. And I am very passionate about this particular concept because it affects me. Modern theme of education or not. There are a lot of things in the traditional value that I feel, the modern has not found an exact solution to. So maybe broaden the scope of your audience. Now, as a moderator, you have two main roles. One is your duty to your panelists or your, let's say, your interaction with your panelists, and then your interaction with your guests. Now, let me start with your panelists. Beautifully done. I mean, you brought about that personal relation with your panelists. Not only that, you integrated all three panelists. It became a cohesive concept, even though that they are so different in the ways that they are approaching this project in their real life. Now, just a few suggestions. See, when you are introducing your panelists, you went on for a whole paragraph for each of the introductions. My suggestion is that limit it to 5 sentences, relevant to what you feel are relevant to this concept. And then there is more of an integration. I found myself listening to the lives of 3 amazing individuals, visionaries in their own particular way. It was like 3 different stories. But that was a problem. It was 3 different stories. So when you're introducing each, if you limit it to about 5 sentences, you will get more time. And why do you need this more time? Because you do have to pose more questions. You pose only one question. Three factors. One is the pros regarding it. Everything, however beautiful modern education is, there has to be some cons. And then there are unresolved gray areas. So maybe 3 questions per 3 panelists and limit it. So these 3 panelists are not Toastmasters. You may have to educate them beforehand. Our concept of the preciousness of time, which I know I'm violating right now, but I'm still going to go ahead. 3 questions, addressing 3. And this will help you towards your conclusion. Because in your conclusion, you can again elaborate what we have got, the pros, the cons, if at all, and this yet unresolved these things. So I heard in your conclusion, I mean, it is all about the pros, but I didn't hear anything about a beautiful panel discussion. But what was your take? Because I have to know what my take is. Then just one suggestion about the audience interaction. Again, as a moderator, just because you have the role as a moderator, tell the audience beforehand, please limit it to 2 sentences or 3 at the most. One of your audience is a little more elaborate, and you might want to ask your panelists also to be brief. This you can do even beforehand in the homework session, telling your panelists, because of our limitation of your Toastmaster time, perhaps, you could just limit your answers. But all in all, wonderful, unique concept, something which I'm, as an educator, pretty passionate to, and I thank you for bringing me concepts about it in the real life scenario that I was not aware of. So saying that, extreme apologies for going overboard. Back to you, TMOD.
Can we please have a round of applause for our evaluator, Toastmaster Bindhu? Now, let us move on to our table topic evaluator. That would be Toastmaster Joane. A little bit about Toastmasters Joanne. She's a content writer and a passionate reader, and she's also an introvert who finds joy in conversation. And she also immerses herself in diverse music genres and languages. And while her free evening is spent treasure hunting in vintage book and stationery stories, she's from Mumbai and she cherishes the sunrises and sunset at Marine Drive. Over to you, Toastmaster Joanne.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Rahul. I'm perfectly audible, right? Okay, so let's start with the table topic evaluation. And I'll tell you, I'm so happy I came here today on this evening because I got to hear some really beautiful table topics tonight. And I'm learning some lessons and taking them back with me. So let's start with Toastmaster Chandra Yusuf. Your life as a movie, what will be the title? Toastmaster Chandra, what a beautiful movie did you present? What a lovely movie. You know, your passion as a speaker comes out with your facial expression and the voice modulation that you brought in when you started speaking. And then the personal story, the details, everything. The devil is in the details, we say, right? So the beauty was also in the details about your village life, the struggle, and even the stories of you don't even know the language or the currency of Europe. So it made it so authentic. When I was listening to you, I felt like, yes, you have lived it and you are sharing your true personal story with me. And a beautiful conclusion, dream high. Very inspiring, I'll tell you. And because I was not even jotting it down, I was just listening and I wanted to know more about your story. So it was a well-crafted movie that you presented. The only thing I felt like you did not do justice to your own movie. You said the title would be A Journey of My Life. No, your life title cannot be Journey of Life. We all are going through journey, but yours is an extraordinary journey. So that extraordinary journey needs an extraordinary title. And I challenge you, go back and think, what would be the title of your movie? Something like From Fields to Flights, or, Away from Home into the World, something of that sort, because that's how powerful your story and your life movie was. Thank you so much for inspiring us with that. Next, we had Toastmaster Alia, character you would love to play on screen. And very, quickly you said, I remember my childhood, the Barney show and all of that. And you were talking about the dinosaur, and the image was coming in my mind about the dino and about the animations, especially the old ones. Now that we have even the Ghibli studio with us right now, I value the old ones even more. So it was really taking us back through the memory lane. Beautiful example. And you said why. You gave the reason that because the dino was empathetic and friendly. That's why I wanted to be in that movie. So you gave a good reason. Now, for you, I'll tell you one thing, one suggestion would be take 30 seconds to structure the entire table topic in your mind. And one tip would be remember the word load, LOAD, for table topic. L is listen, O is opinion. Create an opinion. In this case, it would be the title of the movie, like Barney. Okay. A is anecdote. Now create an example, and D is deliver. So in the 30 seconds, listen, form an opinion, think of a personal story, personal example, like in which moment, in what moment when you were that 8-year-old or 9-year-old that you thought, I want to be with that dino, and which character you wanted to play. You didn't specify that. And then deliver. This would be all that is needed for you. That's structure. But otherwise, thank you for taking us back to our memory lane and, back to my childhood also. Next, we had Prasad Gumare. Which movie's ending would you like to change and how? And then you came up and said Top Gun Maverick. And I was like, yeah, it's embarrassing, but yes, I am a Top Gun fan. I am an action, I'm a lot of genre fan. So yeah, action is also one of them. And then you were just describing the scene, and the scene came in my mind, and I could feel it the way you said, I want to change this, change that. Though as an audience, I'm not someone who thinks so deeply about movies. Like, I don't think I need to change this and that. I could feel the passion that you had for the movie. And you said the same about Swadesh. So that was a very passionate, very, critical examples that you gave, that these are the two movies I want to change. Now, how could you make this better? Number one, the question was change the ending, right? Not change the scene. So you were focusing more on, I want to just change the scene. I would have loved it if you would have told us why you wanted to change the scene. What ending would change if you change the scene? So think of the movies where you're so unhappy about the ending, and there are a lot of movies where I hate the endings. So that is something I would have loved if you could have brought in. And, you know, be specific. Don't go generic. It was a little generic. I want, in Swadesh also, you came in and said, I want an inspiring. Pick one story, that's fine. Just pick one, but be very specific and listen to the topic. The topic was not change the scene, it was change the ending. So it would have been more impactful if you could have described the scene and said, this led to a change in this ending, and that is what I wanted. But otherwise, very good opinions you had, and I'm glad you brought those movies back again into my memory. Next, fourth, we have Michael Joshua, a movie that made you emotional. As I said, I love today's table topic because all these movies make me emotional. Ford versus Ferrari is like in my top 5 movies ever that I have seen. And when Michael, you were describing that end scene, I could see Christian Bale, I could see the image and why that scene made me emotional. I know that. But Michael, I'll tell you one thing. You need to go into the details more because I have seen Ford versus Ferrari. I'm sure not many have, right? So what are you talking about? That detail was not out there. What is the emotion that you felt? That emotion was also not there. So why you got emotional? What was the emotion that you felt? And what is that scene, that exact point in time that made you feel emotional? If you can convey that to the audience, I'll tell you, it is like a perfectly baked cake. You had all the ingredients, your cake was coming through, but somehow I feel like the baking process did not happen properly. So imagine it that way. Next time, present a perfectly baked cake because it is the beautiful cake. The ingredients were out there, Michael. Fifth, you had Sunil. Life had a background music. What song would you play today? Toastmaster Sunil, I'll tell you, one of the most beautiful table topics I've heard for a long time. You knew exactly what the song was, and you knew exactly why you wanted that song. It was very deep, very good explanation. You gave an example of what you speak to your children, and you gave an example of why it resonates with your life and why you want this to always be your background. It was a very philosophical take and well justified. For you, what can I say? I was thinking, what can I give feedback to Sunil today? So I'll tell you, I have just one challenge, not a feedback. Be prepared for a background music that you don't want to be. Something that you never want to be played in about your life or in your background. I would like to know about that. But otherwise, tonight, I'll tell you, you baked a perfectly beautiful cake and the cherries were on the top also. Thank you so much. Last, we have Bindhu Joseph and Bollywood or Hollywood and by. And the first thing that I liked about was she was down there with her opinion very clearly. It is K scenario, it is K drama. I mean, Bollywood and Hollywood have their own places, but I love Korean. So I love the opinion, the strong opinion that you have. And I love that you personalized it. It was your honesty for coming up and saying it is embarrassing that I binge watched 7 episodes. So that honesty, at your position and level to come and tell to people, even I binge watch K series. So that honesty is something that I salute. I love the comparison and contrast that you gave between Bollywood, Hollywood, and K scenarios. And remember, she's doing all of this within 2 minutes. So that is worth a lot when you can present so many different aspects of a single topic. In fact, I'll tell you, my dear, your topic was so beautiful that I was in shock when I was called for the table topic. If you'll see, I actually borrowed your lines because I was still thinking about how beautifully you were talking about escapism and drama and the delicate romance. And I was thinking all of that and I couldn't get out of it. So that is a mark of a great speaker, right? We are still thinking about what that speaker spoke. That's how beautiful your table topic was. Only one suggestion for you would be, I would have loved if you had one concrete example out of that K drama or any K drama where you said it takes you back in time, where you said it talks about delicate romance. So one small example would completely fix it, in anchor that entire table topic in place. That would be your cherry on the cake. But otherwise, such a wonderful take that I'm still reeling with those words and thoughts in my mind. Thank you so much. Wonderful, really wonderful to be here as your evaluator, and a special shout out to the table topic master for bringing such interesting topics. Thank you, and back to you, TMOD.
Wow. That evaluation was short, crisp. It was almost like watching a short movie. Can you please give it for Toastmaster Joane for a wonderful evaluation? I was just wondering, Toastmaster Joane, you left out one speaker during the table topics to evaluate, and that was yourself.
Oh, I gave the evaluation. I said it was bad because I was still in awe of the previous speakers, right? So It was not a good table topic. I was just borrowing their lines. I completely, honestly, what do you say, confess to that.
Oh, it's all right. I was just wondering how this will go in the ending because I know you get a table topics. But anyway, it was good. Thank you. So, before that, I would just like to call upon the timer. Timer, could you please give us the report for the today? Could you please present the report?
Yes, in the speech, Jaspreet is disqualified. Then in the table topic, Michael has took 47 seconds. He's disqualified. And the evaluation, Bindhu took 6 minutes 13 seconds. She's also disqualified. I'm posting my report in the chat box.
Okay. So if I heard this right, for table topics, everybody is qualified apart from Toastmaster Michael. Is that correct?
Sorry?
For table topic. For table topics, yeah, only Toastmaster Michael might go.
Everybody is qualified, right? Everyone is
All right.
qualified except Michael.
Okay, got it. Let's also please give it for our time today for keeping us informed and doing a wonderful job on it. So we are at the end of the meeting, and so I just like you to live. I would like to live with this one, like leave after this one thing. I see this trend, right? Where we see a lot of this trend going on the Studio Ghibli, where people take their photo and convert it to using AI. I'm also guilty of doing it, but there's something later I found out. I used to watch a lot of Ghibli movies when I was in college. So there's something which I love. And when I first saw the trend, I was like, wow, I can finally get an Indian character in a Japanese kind of style. So went ahead and did this, and later I found out this old video of the creator. I believe his name is Miyazaki, and he was totally against his AI. And the reason why I found this was it's something which I didn't like really recognize or even think about this. It takes a lot for the artist to get their working out there, and this AI just takes it and just takes it off in a second. So even though that trend is good and it's nice to put ourselves as a movie character, there's also certain cons that comes with it, I would like to say. And just like that, today's meeting was a good experience for me, and I hope all of you here had a wonderful time and enjoy this journey as well. And I would like to give the stage back to a presiding officer once again. Over to you, Toastmaster Jaspreet.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Rahul. A big round of applause for him for taking us through, navigating through the meeting from the beginning till the end. Well, we have some guests still there with us. I would like them to very quickly, in quick 30 seconds, tell us something. Chandra, what do you think about the meeting? A feedback, quick 30 seconds.
Wow, it was an excellent meeting. Excellent table topic evaluator. It helps us a lot to improve. I really love this club. I'll come back. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chandra. Alia, you were here since the beginning. You've been here since the beginning. Give me a quick feedback about the meeting.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jaspreet. This particular Toastmaster club I had come across from TNTM group. It was a sudden message which I had popped up in my TNTM group. So I wanted to give a try today at least, because like whenever I find it and the particular deadline or like the particular meeting timing just vanishes off, and then it strikes me like I could have joined and I missed the opportunity. So this was the first try. I like the approach and stuff. So, and it's like it was really a happening session today. It was like a fun session today. I'm from Chennai Toastmasters Club, and ours is like an offline meeting. So it's the first session I'm attending through online. So it was really happening. It was nice. Sitting at home in my own comfort zone was good. Thank you.
Thank you so much for these wonderful words. Do join our guest group so that you can join more of our meetings that keep on happening every now and then.
Sure, ma'am.
All right. Now, I hope the polls are happening at the side. And very quickly are the custom that we follow of the woes and the wows. Now, very, very quickly, let's go ahead with this. Now, the first woe is the Toastmaster did not talk about the theme in the beginning at all. Towards the end, he did try to talk about it, but then there was nothing about the theme. I was waiting for some activity to happen, some interaction to happen, which did not happen. And I was expecting much more energy. It was dipping down. So we can look forward to more of that. And again, the timer, when the timing parameters were being given at the beginning, nothing was clear. It was not audible. It could have been a little bit better than that so that the audience is able to understand. Now, the wow factor about the meeting is that our TMOD, Toastmaster Rahul, did face technical glitch, electricity failure, something. But then he bounced back with doubled up energy. Whatever was it, he was there navigating through till the end. He did not let us come forward to help him out because he was able to manage it. So that is great. Kudos to you, Rahul, for doing that. You held your ground till the very end. That's good. Now, the next thing is the panelists today. They were awesome. They were awesome and they did add a lot of value to our meeting today. And most important, the Sergeant at Arms. He did an excellent job by opening the meeting at the right time. Today was a special meeting, so I think he opened even 5 minutes earlier because last time there was some problem he faced. He opened it even 5 minutes earlier. And one more thing about him is he's that brave heart who from the beginning till the ending is sitting with the camera on. So either he's there or I am there with the camera on. And kudos to you for that, Sunil. That is, yes, the Toastmasters spirit. So this is really wonderful. Now, are we ready with the result, Sunil? So today we are announcing only the table topic result, role takers also.
Favorite role takers also. I'm just sending WhatsApp on your WhatsApp.
All right.
Ma'am, your voice is not audible.
Yes. Toastmaster Yogita, would you like to say something about the great topics that put everybody in a fix today?
Oh, I loved seeing everyone in a fix. That doesn't mean that I encourage such topics. Honestly, I just wanted it to be something funny and to understand something that will make people think, oh my God, now what do I have to say? When we do not have words, we become more creative. That is my personal observation for my mentees, and also I have seen it in my journey. And I for today also, didn't you see some beautiful replies to the topics? Like, look at Bindhu, look at Joanne, even though she admitted her folly, but still, And even Sunil, I have to give it to Chandra for starting the topic with such an energy and setting the stage right. So yeah, so more absurd topics bring more creativity. So that's my take on that.
Right. Thank you very much for that. And the results are there with us. Now, the favorite role player is again another stalwart, our table topic evaluator, Joane Joseph. A big round of applause for that, Joanne. We love it when you are evaluating the table topics. Now, for the table topics, it was, I feel, even though the TTM tried to put you in a fix, everybody was better than the other. That is what people proved to be. So here we have a tie between Toastmaster Sunil and Toastmaster Chandra. So both of them are the winners today. A big round of applause to both of them. Congratulations, guys. Now we have, I would say, an appreciation award also today, which is the auxiliary role player, the favorite one, which is the timer, Toastmaster Suchita. Is she there? No, she's left. So the only role player, the auxiliary role player, but then to be there from the beginning to the end and doing it, being unnoticed, the only one noticing is who's going beyond time. Else, we forget to notice that the timer is there behind our backs, taking note of every single second passing. So today, this is a special appreciation award for the auxiliary role taker, that is the timer, Suchita. So with this, thank you guys for being there till the end, adding value to the meeting by your participation, by your views, and all that you said. Until the next meeting, which happens on Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon IST. So it's a great day, whatever part of the world you are in. Good evening, good afternoon, good night, good morning. And until we meet next, have a great time.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.